Hello everyone. In the last video we have seen the explanation of a code that is going to, or that was supposed to be do an implementation where an analog value that is coming to A0 is less than or equal to 300. We switch on a LED. I was telling I'm going to connect this particular LED to green, so we were supposed to switch on green LED, and yeah, I'll talk that later. And then the value is, if the value is in between 300 and 600, we are going to switch off that green LED and we are going to switch on a blue LED, right? And then if the both are not true, that means the value is not less than or equal to 300, and also the value is not in between 300 and 600. Value is between 300 and 600. What I will do is, if that is also false, then what we will do is we will switch on a red LED. Okay, simply talking, if the analog value is less than or equal to 300, we switch on a red LED and we keep the other LEDs off. Okay, because we switch on a green LED and we keep the other LEDs off. If the value is in between 300 and 600, we switch on the blue LED and keep the other LEDs off. And if the value is another value, that means more than 600, right? More than or equal to 600. That is what will be covered in the else part, right? Because less than 300 will be covered here. Between 300 and 600 value will be covered here. So the rest is, the else will be obviously greater than 600. That will be covered here. So if the value is greater than 600, obviously we switch on the red LED and we switch off all the other LEDs. Okay. So in other words, I can add a comment. So this command will say this is green LED. Okay, so I can give names, but to make things not much complex and to avoid the number of lines of the code, I am writing the pin numbers directly. Okay, so I can add a comment, so that will be for the developer's purpose. Whoever will read this will understand these LEDs are for these purposes, right? So if I have a double slash and write something, that will not be considered as a code, part of the code, and that will be ignored by the program, okay, by the Arduino, and that is intended to the user to be read and to read and understand. Okay, so green LED 7, 8 LED blue, blue LED 8, red LED 9. Okay guys, so this is very clear, right? Because I have explained it in the last video. If you don't understand, you have to go to the last video, last 1 or 2 videos, and rewatch them and come to this video. Okay, that's fine. So anyway, I am going to copy this code. Before that, I will do a quick verification and make sure this works fine. Okay, so in your scenario, what I want you to do is use a variable resistor or potentiometer, and you can connect it to the Arduino, and also you can connect 3 LEDs to these particular pins with 330 ohm resistors. Okay, and you have to ground the ground pins of the LEDs. That's all you have to do, right? Nothing else. So you know how to connect a variable resistor and read the values, you know that, and you know how to collect the LED with the resistor to the Arduino, and also you know how to connect the negative side to the ground. Okay, you know those things. So compiling is successful. So I'll copy the code, and I have a simulation environment where I have these connections. That means green LED, blue LED, and red LED. So green is, you can see green is going to pin number 7, blue is going to pin number 8, and the red is going to pin number 9. Okay guys. So and the other side, that means the cathode sides are going to the ground, the negative side. So you know those things, right? So these are 330 ohms resistors. Okay, and then I want to repeat, I want you to create the circuit by yourself with the real Arduino, no simulation environment. Then only you will get hands-on experience. Okay, so then I have a potentiometer, or in other words, variable resistor. So using which we can control the analog input, right? So I have taught so many sessions with the variable resistor, with the original picture and how to connect it, and like that. And in the simulation environment also, I have explained you how to use it, right? So if you don't understand this, or if you happen to see this video first time, you have to watch the previous videos on this topic and come back to this. That means this variable resistor and analog inputs, potentiometer, so both are same, right? So now you can see this is ground, this is +5, you see this, right? So and this goes to A0, right? So according to our code also, we are reading the A0 value. Okay, so that is totally fine, connections are good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a simulation. So before doing a simulation, I will try to bring this to 0. That will not work. Okay, just ignore it. Okay, so I will paste the code here now. Okay, and for the moment, ignore this outcome because I am going to this value is now I have done this tested the simulation a little ago. So during that time I have left the position of this potentiometer in a high position, right? So I just want to bring it back to 0. That is why I am doing a simulation. Okay, so just ignore the output for the moment. I will tell when you have to have a look. Okay, now I will bring it to 0 first. Okay, and stop the simulation. Okay, now we will start the simulation again. So now you can watch it from the beginning, right? Okay, so one thing I am telling is okay, we will get the point. Okay, I will start the simulation. So now you can see the serial monitor value is 0, so that is mean less than 300. We want the green LED to be on, other to be off. So you can see green is on, other all the LEDs are off. Okay, so I will do a small increase. Okay, and you see now our value is 41 and still green is on, right? Okay, sorry, 123 and still green is on. It takes a little time to read the value here because it is a simulation environment, not the real Arduino. Okay, so I will try to increase the value more than 300 and see what happens. Okay, so I will go for a value somewhere 400. Let's see, 307. Okay, so you can see this blue LED is on, right, and the green LED is off now. And also you can see it takes a little time for the green LED to go off, right? So this is some issue with this simulation environment, I guess. With the real Arduino, you will see at the very moment the blue LED is on, the green LED goes off. Okay, because our logic is like that, right? I mean, when the blue LED is on, because the value is between 300 and 600, when the blue LED is on, at the very moment we switch off other two LEDs, right? At no time, right? So there are some issues with the guess simulation environment or some other thing. That is why it is not immediately, even though the blue LED is immediately switch on when the value is passing 300, the green LED is not going switch off immediately. It takes a little time. Okay, so this is happening in the environment. When you are doing the real Arduino, you don't have to worry about it. Even at the very moment it is on, green goes off. Both green going off and blue becoming on, both happens at the same time. Okay, so we will try to switch on the red now. So for that I have to go for a value more than 600, right? So that is the else part, right? So I will increase it a little higher value. So it is now 880. So you can see the red LED is on now. Okay, now blue will go slowly off. Okay, so I think it now only the blue is off. So it takes a little time to go off. Okay, but in the real Arduino you will see switch on and switch off happens in the same time. Blue off and red on happens in the same time. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. So I will play around like, okay, let's see. Now it is again, what is earlier? 389. That means blue on, red goes off. Okay guys, and again you switch on the green. Okay, so I will go for value less than 300. Okay, so I will go for something like this, 0, green on, other LEDs are off. Okay, so let's try to create a red on. Okay, so just ignore these things though. It takes a little time to these LEDs to go off. Okay, so while passing the blue might have got on, so you can ignore that, right? Okay, so in the real world you will not get these kind of bugs, guys. Okay, so 880 means everything will be off, red will be on. Okay, nothing to worry. So I think the blue got on in the intermediate because that makes sense, right? Because when I am decreasing from 600 to less than 300, we will pass the values that is between 300 and 600. So at that times blue will be on, right? It is obvious, right? You understand what I am telling, right, guys? Green is fine. So anyway, we will go in the proper order. So now it is green. I will again go for a value more than 300. Okay, blue is on. Green will go off in a while due to some issues in this environment. Okay, that's fine. Green went off. Okay, I will let's go for red now. Okay, red has become on because value is 900, more than 600. Blue will go off a little late, as I said to you, because of this environment issues. Okay guys, so I think now it's very clear and cool. So when you are doing the same thing in the real Arduino, these bugs will not be there. At the very moment the switching will happen, right? When the blue goes off, at the same time red becomes on, or when the red becomes on, same times other LEDs will be off. Okay, so the switching will happen very neat and clear cut manner with the serial monitor. Okay guys, so I hope the logic is very clear to you guys. I will catch you up in the next video and consider subscribing us. Take care guys, stay safe.